So speaking about mortgage rate, I forgot to tell you something. So what I realized in the last month, they decreased the rates for insured mortgages. So in other words, they decrease the rates for if you want to pay less than 20%, basically.
Okay.
So you have to pay the CHMC. This is the whole story. So if you pay less than 20%, you pay an insurance fee.
Okay.
To CHMC, which depends on full-time or self-employed. So there are formula to find out how much will be for you.
Yes.
So they decreased those rates in the last month, meaning that whoever especially the first-time buyers, would they put usually less than 20%.
Okay.
So they can benefit now.
Hello, Marius. So good to see you again. We have a lot of topics today, but before we start, I just want to congratulate you for, again, it's the third year in a row. You're #1 in Remax. Congratulations. It's amazing.
So yeah, thank you so much for being here with me. It's the beginning of 2023. Yeah, in the last 3 years, I was #1 agent in Remax Prime Properties out of 100 agents. Well, 6 offices. So yeah, it's an honor, and I'm so happy for that. I'm so proud, but it's very hard to maintain this #1 for so many years.
I know.
It's easy to go to #1, but it's much difficult to maintain the position. And I did it for almost 3 years, and in the previous company the same thing. I was #1 out of 500 agents, and so I try all the time to do all my best for my clients and to make them happy. And this translates into more business, into more referrals, in more repeat business. I work just by referrals and repeat business. So, this is the result of a hard work and passion for this business.
And I know it's a lot of things we don't actually see. And it's always a price there. And it's not just working hard by finding clients, but dealing with the clients sometimes can be not so easy.
Yeah, dealing, like person to person,
yeah.
It's very difficult, and each particular case has a special requirement that I have to be sure that all the clients are happy in the end.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, thanks God. Kept me healthy on 2022. By the way, it was the best year in my career based on the GCI. The second best year in units sold. So in 2021 I sold 55 units, and in 2022 I sold just 38. But somehow they were much bigger units, much bigger homes. So the average house sold price was higher. So for this reason, in 38 sales, I made more money than in 55 sales, which is kind of unusual, but it was in 2022.
Yeah, again, with a lot of work.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask a little bit, because everybody's probably waiting, and again, we saw an increase of rates to the bank. Can you give us just a little bit of your perspective? What do you think about the rates at the banks?
Yes, so in the beginning of 2022, when was the peak of the market, was February, March 2022. The rates were very low, like prime rates. The prime was very low. The variable rates was like 1.9, 2%, 2.5. So now they are like 5, 4.5, 5%, 5.5. The fixed rate, they're very low now. They were like 2.5, 2.6, 3% maybe. Now they are 5, 6%. So the rates, they weren't up. The inflation went up. So the government did that just to balance the inflation. It was the war in Ukraine, which prompted the high gas prices. And then after the lockdowns, after the COVID situation for 3 years, the food prices were going so high like before. So for this reason, the people, they became scared, and for a good reason, because usually they have fixed salaries.
Yes.
And raising the rates and raising the food prices and gas prices and everyday living made them uncomfortable, because it's less money for their family.
Absolutely.
And some of them, they were forced to sell because they couldn't even pay those crazy rates.
Absolutely.
So based on that, the market, the real estate market, slowed down a lot. starting from, let's say, April, May, and up to, let's say, August, the prices were dropping significantly. And then, in the September was a little bit less drop, but still is a constantly they're going down. And the experts, they said that until the end of 2023, the prices of the homes, they are going another 10 or 50% down. Of course, depends on the monetary policies that the banks, they are doing right now. So the last raise was in 25th of January with another 0.25%. So the prime rate, which translates into more financial burdens for potential for the sellers and for the owners. So we'll see probably more houses on the market because, as I said, that they cannot afford anymore. And if, let's say, it's a buyer market already, but if there are more inventory and they don't sell, then probably the prices will go down in order to sell those properties.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's a very sad situation. It's a very sad situation.
It is. And do you think they will increase more, or what? Your opinion, of course, because we don't know. We only can.
Based on that, the government, the governor of Bank of Canada said this trend is not the last one. He said something like that. So probably they will increase again.
We can
can expect that. So it's not we don't see yet the light at the end of the tunnel. But so for this reason, so many clients of mine right now, they are just calling me and to downsize, because they own larger homes. They used to live in this home for less than 20 years. They grew up their families. Now their kids, they are on their own. They graduated university and stuff like that, and then they want to downsize. And it's a smart move because they sell a little bit less than last year, but they buy for less. And then they minimize the payments, they minimize the expenses. So with the difference in sell price, they could afford a nice living in the next couple of years for the retirement. Last year, basically, I did a research. So many sellers, they just sold and they moved to another country, or if they left they were in Canada, they either downside, but most of them they went in rent for another 1 year or so because the statistics that said, okay, in the next next year or so, they can buy even with 10% or 50% less. So they will stay in, for a while in rent, and then to buy again. So nobody knows what's going to happen.
No, and the rent went up.
The rent went up significantly, and because of that, because it's a lack of rent, because so many guys they think like that. Now is much harder to rent than to buy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in some areas, make more sense to buy than to rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a sad situation, but we have to think positively. For example, I have a lot of calls now for the potential buyers that are waiting for so many years and didn't have any chance to buy because all the time was a multiple situation, was a seller market. But now they found that time that I say, what, now is the time to buy something. So I got yesterday. I closed I did two deals in the buyer side.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
That's great. It's the very first month.
Was amazing. One in Ottawa was so funny situation. A former client of mine. Her son called me and said, Marius, I want to help me to buy a house in a condo in Ottawa. And the normal way is to find an agent there and to give him you receive a referral fee for that. But because I care too much about my clients, I said to my former client, I said, don't worry, I will try to find one. So I went on Saturday. I they give me a list of 10 properties. I double check all of them before I spent 2 hours just to see what was the best, and I found one that was the best fit for them. And then they did their own research independently, and then they found out the same property being on a top list. So we both agreed that one was the best. I went on Saturday morning. I left Toronto around 10 o'clock. I was at 2 o'clock in Ottawa. I showed them the listing, and then they love it. And then we put an offer, and Sunday we did a deal.
Oh my God!
So we purchased that property, and then on the same day, I just we just put another offer on other clients. My son was showing them the property in Paris, close to Kitchener.
Okay.
And then they like it. We put an offer. We negotiate that one too. So 2 deals on a buyer side in the same day, on the same date. And now I have another 4 or 5 buyers that they called me like just a few weeks ago, and now I'm working with them to find the right house for them. So it's a good time to buy.
To buy right now.
And
it's good to know. It's good to know.
Yeah.
So you're practically your clients, the ones they sold their properties practically last year or 2 years ago.
Yes.
Now they're coming back to you saying, "I want to buy."
Yes.
So
yeah, some of them.
It's an interesting dynamics, and and this is why we're doing these actually interviews, because we want people to learn as much as possible to make it informed decisions, right? Not
Yes.
based on what other people did, but from your from an expert perspective. That's very important.
Yeah. So speaking about mortgage rate, I forgot to tell you something. So what I realized in the last month, they decreased the rates for insured mortgages. So in other words, they decrease the rates for if you want to pay less than 20%, basically.
Okay.
So you have to pay the CHMC. This is the whole story. So if you pay less than 20%, you pay an insurance fee.
Okay.
To CHMC, which depends on if you are full-time or part-time, or the full-time or self-employed. So there are formula to find out how much will be for you.
Yes.
So they decreased those rates in the last month, meaning that whoever especially the first-time buyers, they put usually less than 20%.
Okay.
So they can benefit now.
Okay, so we have a little bit of
Good news.
That's
let's
great.
say.
That's great.
And,
We'll take everything we can.
All these guys, they call me. They are, some of them they are first home buyers.
Okay.
Which makes sense, because now they pay a little bit less than the ones that they put more than 20%.
Okay, so I think they want to encourage people who buy for the first time, pretty
Exactly.
much the young,
to enter the real estate market.
Okay, so it's a little bit of help, which is great, because we want to see this for our kids, right? From our children, we want to help them, and actually this is something that it's a little bit more accessible to them. So great. Thank you so much for all the information.
No problem.
And again, I'm amazed, and I'm not necessarily amazed, and I'm not surprised, because the level of customer service, the level of your involvement, and the way you deal with your clients, it says a lot when the clients are coming back to you. They're not only selling with you, but they're buying with you. So that's actually the best probably review ever, because people are like, sometimes they give reviews, sometimes they don't. And I know you have a lot of good, like 5-star review on Google, but you have 3 times, 4 times more clients in the past, but they don't take the time to give you the review,
which is fine.
But they're coming back.
They're coming back. Yeah, this is the most important thing.
Probably that's the best review ever, because they trust you, and they trust the way you are dealing, and your knowledge and your expertise and availability, right? That's the further you went to Ottawa. Is the first time, or?
Yes, it's the first time when I purchased a property far away, like about 400 kilometers from Toronto area.
Okay, yeah.
Now I have a listing in London, about 250 kilometers west, and then we had an offer on that one too. Like today we send out the counter offer. Hopefully we can make a deal. So you see, we purchased in Kitchener. We did on the same day that in Ottawa. Then we have to sell. Like we have an offer for a property in London. So we are all across southern Ontario.
Yeah.
Which it's amazing, and I love to work with people that they trust me, they like me, and it's much easier than working with somebody that you don't know, like from KGG. So by the way, all my business is based on referrals and past clients and repeat business. This is the whole let's say success, because I'm providing amazing service. I grew up organic, like in all these years. So I didn't, like just to have an idea, I grew up organic, like a website. I put, nice, let's say AdWords, it translates in good service, and the people, they were happy and they refer me instead of pay per click. Like so many agents they're doing, they pay per click. They do a lot of marketing, but basically what they do is they attract people that they don't know them. So it's not the same level of trust that my clients and me we are experiencing. And because of that, because it's more trust and amazing customer service, they will call me later on and later on and later on and later on. So it's much better. This is the best business you can have.
Absolutely, yeah. It says a lot anyway, and it takes time.
It takes time.
You can't just hope.
Yeah,
over the
17
night
years
to-
in the making. So
it shows, and your
I'm available
information-
24/7, but some nights, for
Yeah.
example, in the weekends, probably after 8 and 9 o'clock, I just turn
know,
off the phone.
of course.
But usually, every day I'm available during the weekdays up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m. So the people, they feel comfortable because other
Yes.
agents, they are not calling them after 5 p.m. or they're not available. But all the time I'm available. I try to be available. But so this one, it's another guarantee that they will be in a peace of mind, and
Absolutely,
because all
yes.
the time I have an answer for them. I have a service to it's another extra service.
It is.